Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. You're tuned into another installment of Three Devils and a Gooner. Today I'm joined by Chel and Jen. How are you today, girls?
Good.
Good. We're all happy for once coming on the one show after a good weekend of football. Obviously we're missing Reach and we're missing Soph today, but we'll be grand on our own, girls. We'll keep going. Um, Jen, we'll first go on to you. Obviously Arsenal beat Sheffield United 3-0 yesterday.
Yay.
Um, I think it's a massive confidence boost for you, especially going in on Thursday. You've another big game Thursday, probably the biggest game of your season, to be honest. What did you make of the win yesterday?
I keep saying it is only Sheffield United, and then I remember that they beat you. So then I get happy again. And I'm like, oh, Sheffield United. But yeah, I was pleased. I was pleased that we beat them because before the match, anything could have happened. Like, you could have told me we were going to lose, and I'd be like, oh, right, okay. Do you know, I really wasn't sure after last Thursday. I really wasn't sure who was going to come out and how they were going to play. The tweak putting Xhaka at left back was genius, I think, personally. I couldn't believe it. Much more solid than even Cedric at left back. Cedric, because he's a left-footed player at left back, it's really difficult. Or is he a right-footed player at left back? Yeah, right-footed. So, you know, you have to swing the ball if you're right-footed with your wrong foot, you know, at left back, whereas Xhaka is left-footed. So he worked there way better. Obviously, Tierney I love and can't wait to see him back. Would prefer to have him there than anybody else. But so that little tweak there worked wonders. And Ceballos played out of his skin. Thank God, about time. This season has been a bit mental. He hasn't played like that all season. Martinelli up the top, different. Scored a goal. Could not slag him about his work rate is amazing. He just keeps going. He's like a little Energizer bunny. He's running around everywhere. And sometimes you think it's a bit like a headless chicken. But, I mean, he was there when we needed him. He got the rebound and he threw it in. Well, kicked it in, obviously. Yeah, I was really, really quite pleased. Obviously, we won. Yay.
Yeah, obviously, like a lot of the bigger clubs have played like the likes of Fulham, Sheffield United, Brighton, West Brom, and they've actually struggled against these clubs. So you actually never know what's going to happen when you go out there at the end of the day. So obviously you're delighted with that win, and do you feel a bit more confident now about Thursday after that win?
I feel more calm, not confident, more calm about it, because if we'd have lost that, I would have said, oh God, you know, who's going to turn up Thursday? But because we've won it, it's actually settled. I think it settled the fan base down a bit and it settled the team down a bit. And Laka, when he came out afterwards for his interview, he said he scored 2, and he was just like, yeah, put Thursday to bed now. I missed some that I should have scored. So, you know. So
yeah.
So.
How are you feeling about Aubameyang? Actually, I know we spoke about him a bit last week, but I feel like, after he got that contract, he kind of did a bit of an ozil on it and just didn't really bother.
Yeah, and I think he was sick. He went in, he had the temperature, and he was sent home. It's like any of us if we go to work at the minute and we've got a temperature. It's like, go home, you know. But he did put up on his Insta that he was watching the boys and good luck to the boys. So maybe he's realising that he's going to be dropped if he doesn't, get with it. Martinelli, I would play him Thursday in front of Aubameyang. I've said all along this season, put him on the bench. Put him on the bench. And, it works putting him on the bench because when he comes off, he's got something to prove. And he wants to score and he wants to play. So I'd play Martinelli in front of him on Thursday.
So would you play Aubameyang then more so as an impact sub?
just for the rest of this season,
Mm.
like, I don't think we're going to be able to sell him. I know people are saying sell him and stuff. This is the first dip he's had since he's been with us. Like, he has scored over 20 goals every season he's been with us. So it's not fair to get rid of a player just through having, like, he had a lot of issues at the beginning. It's a really weird season. It's COVID. Do you know, people are not themselves. So I wouldn't get rid of him. And also trying to get somebody to buy him when he's got such a lucrative contract, do you know, it'll be, you know, very difficult. So I would keep him on the bench for the rest of the season and then just say to him, right, starting new again in August, you know, show us what you're made of. Let's do pre-season as we would normally, and everybody's on level playing field. Let's see how we go.
Yeah. So just, I don't, with Arsenal, it's a tough one, to be honest, because you have players that drop in and out of form, and it seems to be like a consistent thing. So I don't know, maybe I think you should use Aubameyang anyway as an impact sub more so than a starter, but by all means I try out Martinelli starting as well. So hopefully, well, not really hopefully, but
Look,
you
you
might
want to
see a
meet us
bit of an
in the
improvement.
final. Come on, you want to see us in the final. You know it.
We'll move on to United's massive win yesterday. And by all means, Chelsea, I don't know about you, but I am still absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, same. Over me.
Absolutely, like, they just came out in the second half and they were a completely different team. Like,
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, this is the Manchester United we know, and this is the Manchester United that is well capable of playing football like this. Why do we consistently go out and play shite football? But obviously we had quite a bad first half. I thought we were sloppy all over the pitch, to be honest. I feel like the only player that was actually making a difference to us was Pogba. I thought Pogba had an absolutely world-class performance yesterday.
Mhm.
Wouldn't take that away from him in the slightest. What did you make of the first half yesterday, Charles?
Well, first half was an absolute shambles. Like, the whole game in general, like I said this at the end, I don't think I've ever experienced such an array of emotions in 90 minutes in my life. Like, the first half, I mean, I don't think we were pretty, I think we were pretty matched, to be fair. And obviously we did get that goal, which wasn't a goal, but let's not talk
It was
about
a goal, really, though.
It was a goal, yeah, it was a goal, yeah. Like I've said this, like, I'm not being funny. When pundits who you wouldn't think would stick up for us, when I've even spoke to Spurs fans and they've said it was a goal, like, but yeah. Anyway, first half was disappointing. Like, we all, when that goal did get us alarmed, and obviously when they scored slightly after, our heads dropped and we just didn't seem to we just seemed like we were getting a bit riled up as well. And obviously they needed to calm down. So we needed to come out of that second half completely different. And luckily we did. And it turned it around completely. But the first half was very disappointing.
I think as well, to be honest with you, that McTominay foul was not a foul.
Wasn't, no.
I think, being completely honest with you, I think the referee shot himself because he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So that 100% that goal should have stood to begin with. The whole situation we'll come on to it again in a while, but I think VAR is an absolute joke. So I wish that they didn't drop their heads after that goal, to be honest with you, because Son literally acted like he was dead, and then 5 minutes later he scored a goal. So I think I just think football has gone to the dogs, to be honest with you. But obviously we came out in that second half then, and oh my god, like, it was just so good, and it was so nice to watch United play football like that. What did you make of the second half, Chelsea?
Yeah, completely different team. Like I said, I don't know what they said at half time. I don't know what sort of team talk they had in the dressing room, but it must have worked because, like I said, we came out and we looked miles a completely different team to what we were in the first half. Like, we looked dangerous. We were taking chances, and we were really getting into the game. And obviously, we know we say it all the time. Second half FC, like, it's become a bit of a running joke now because that's just what it is. But obviously, I've got to admit, Fred was not the one I expected to start scoring, considering I was saying get him off 5 minutes earlier. So, I'll eat my words on that one. But yeah, but then the thing is, when we scored that first goal, we didn't just settle, because I think Jose was settling for that 1-0. We didn't just settle. We wanted more and we wanted more. And I think obviously Greenwood scoring, like, we didn't need that to happen, but it just kind of like, it was the icing on the cake, it was the cherry on top, and that's just, just goes to show that we can play good football if we put our minds to it. And it was really nice to see. Like, I think that performance in the second half was the best I've seen us play in a while.
Yeah, I think we were playing really good football there for a while, but our form definitely dropped, and we were winning games, but we were winning them quite ugly, to be honest. We weren't playing great football. But look, it happens. Every club is going to drop in form. Every club is going to have to win ugly. To be honest, I don't know about you, Chelsea, but I know a lot of people don't see any progress under Ollie, but I personally do actually see progress under Ollie.
Yeah.
I seen the Ollie outers as well were very quiet yesterday, so
I said that.
shut them right up, like. But
literally.
Jose Mourinho, then, personally, I think he's finished. I don't know about you girls.
I do.
What do you think, Jen? I know you probably hate him, do you?
No, I hate him. Yeah, I can't stand the man. Never could. Even as when he first came to Chelsea, just thought he was an arrogant. I won't say the word. And yeah, I just think he should go. Head between his legs, go away. But mind you, I quite enjoy him being with Tottenham because I can laugh more. I just laugh more because I hate Tottenham. So,
what do you think, Chelsea? Is he finished?
Yeah, I think he's on his way out, because I know we discussed a few weeks ago and we're saying like maybe not, maybe. And then maybe he is finished in the Premier League, which is what I initially thought. But I just think like he's just getting to that point now. Like I think he kind of picked up Tottenham as this project, but it's just not working. And I definitely think that the argument to say that he is finished is definitely one that can be backed up quite a lot, especially with some of the results and some of the way that Tottenham have been playing recently.
Yeah, Jen, I'm going to give you this question.
you know the answer. Can't help it.
Look, I don't know about you guys, but I'm happy to see Spurs go down like that, because Jose Mourinho, like when he was at United, he made shit of players. Like look at Luke Shaw, Paul Pogba, he was having a row week in, week out with him. But I am so glad that Luke Shaw could go out yesterday and rub it in his face, because Luke Shaw, round of applause, because he's absolutely unbelievable this season. Paul Pogba absolutely cleaned up yesterday. He was unbelievable start to finish. What did you make of his performance, Chelsea?
Yeah, well, obviously I know Pogba's a good player. I know that anyway. But like when I saw him on the wing, I wasn't too impressed, because and obviously he is very good centrally as well. But I'll eat my words. Like he literally was brilliant. It was all over the place. He was sort of doing everyone else's job for them almost at some point. But yeah, I think that could potentially be one of his best performances in recent times for us, 100%, because he was brilliant.
Yeah, and I think it definitely improved our game in the second half as well when Ollie switched it up a bit too.
Yeah.
Which is great to see from Ollie as well. Making changes at halftime like that. Even if he was making no subs, at least he tactically switched it up. But I was just so delighted that we could go out against Spurs and redeem ourselves and get that win. It was absolutely massive for the club. I'm actually going to talk about another player, because he came on yesterday and he got a goal and assist when he came on the pitch. Now, this is a player we have seen that struggled at start of season, wasn't really getting much game time. Now he's getting game time and he is absolutely smashing it. He scored the last 3 games. Mason Greenwood, I think. Now, Jen, I know there's so much comparison about Greenwood and Saka, but Greenwood, like, Saka has had a good season, but Greenwood has the most potential.
Tired. Saka is tired. It's his first proper season in the Premiership. Do you know, Saka? So Greenwood's had longer. So he's had chance to kind of bed himself in a bit more. And what I saw from Greenwood yesterday, Saka, hopefully this time next season we'll be going, oh yeah, Saka's just as good, he's better, he's doing this, doing that. Yeah, I was delighted for him, believe it or not. I was actually amazed at your second half performance. I was sitting there gobsmacked, absolutely over the moon, would not normally be shouting at the telly for United to win. And I was like, this is amazing. This is United we used to see. I was just, Greenwood's.
I'd say they definitely got the hairdryer treatment when they went into that dressing room yesterday anyway.
100%.
Which is actually so nice to see. Like, obviously we want to see Ollie put his foot down and we want to see him progress. Like, I am not one for this managerial merry-go-round like Chelsea do. Like, if you get a manager and you see some bit of progress, stick with him, back him, do what you need to do. Now, I know this is Manchester United at the end of the day that we're talking about. We don't know if he's going to be backed, but we can only hope. Now with the director of football, hopefully, like, we will see that bit of progress in terms of transfers and stuff. Not sure about this summer, but because of COVID and everything, not a lot of clubs have that much money. But look, the Glazers have plenty of money and they could easily put money into the club, but they'd rather take it out instead. But completely 100% Ollie in. I don't care what anyone else says. I'm going to back the manager. So we'll move. We're both playing Thursday. We have the Europa League. Jen, how are you feeling? This is probably the biggest game of your season.
So far.
Definitely the biggest game.
We're getting to the final. So far. Yeah, I'm feeling all right. I was there looking at the team, and so I'm going to bore you now with who I would play, right? So I start with Leno. I'm going to go like 4-3-3. Very similar to how we played yesterday, but just hopefully with a couple of different players in. So I would start Leno, obviously, in goals. Xhaka, Mari, Holding, Bellerin, because Bellerin in Europe is playing brilliant. In the league, no. But in Europe, he's playing brilliant. And I know I think
overall you're playing better football in Europe than you are in the league in general.
Maybe because Arteta is focusing a bit more on it, I'd say. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think he is using the league as a test for them and to try different tactics for the Europa League. And I think it really shows, even with yesterday, I think it really shows the way he put Martinelli in and how he still played Lacazette and stuff, and where he tried Xhaka at left back. I think that's where he's going to go on Thursday. So for me, I put Xhaka, Mari, Holding, Bellerin in the 4 at the back. Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Partey, obviously, as the holding player because Xhaka's in at left back. And then Martinelli, Lacazette, and Saka across. Now, please God, Saka's fine. I'm hoping it was just a dead leg and he'll be back. Smith Rowe seems to be okay. And Odegaard is the iffy one. So if Odegaard isn't playing, I would probably put Saka into his role and Pepe up there with Lacazette, because Pepe enjoys playing with the younger group. I wouldn't put Aubameyang in. I'd have Aubameyang on the bench. I'm hoping that what I saw yesterday, that with the better players in that midfield, that we'd actually even run better than we did last Thursday. Like last Thursday, I thought we were very unlucky to draw, but now if they win by an away goal, I'll be cross. But I think it was better for us in one respect, and I know people are not going to agree with me at all. There was total outrage on Twitter about it, but it means Arteta has to go attacking. He can't sit back and think, oh, well, they haven't got an away goal. We can score one and win. Arteta is going to have to go attacking. And that's where Martinelli, Lacazette and Saka should be able to run at them. We should have scored 3 or 4 last week. at home, but we didn't, and that's the lads' fault, you know. But like I said, I'd say he'll be up for it. And Martinelli, sure, he'll run him ragged. The right back won't know what to do with him, I reckon, because he hasn't played that much, so there wouldn't be a lot of like telly on him, so they won't be able to see what he's like as much as some of the others. Do you know, where they can look back on all the other games? So because Martinelli hasn't played an awful lot, they'll have some idea of what he's like, but I think it could be a strong bit for us on Thursday. Confident.
I actually have a question, or Greg has a question here for you, Jen. What do you think of Callum Chambers?
When he played the last time, I can't remember who it was against now. I said he is a really good crosser of the ball. He's got really quite good positioning, and he's really good at crossing the ball and getting a ball in. The problem is he's slow. So for a defender, he's quite slow. And if he's got a bomb up the right-hand side, he won't do that. He hasn't got the pace. So against Sheffield United, it was fine because we knew they weren't going to come on to us, really. You know, they tried the high press, but once they try that, so we can get out of it against Sheffield United. And Chambers was fine for that. But against fast opposition, he would be caught lacking. He could be caught higher up the pitch and then not be able to do his defensive duties. Whereas Bellerin is used to it, and Bellerin's faster than him and is able to get back and, you know, do the work.
Yeah, we'll go on to I actually hope you lose, Jen, because actually no, I hope you win. Never mind. Actually, I hope you win. I'd actually love to see United Arsenal final. Only if United won, though, it'd be kind of awful if we lost. But I think it would be a really, really good final, and would just go to show that the Premier League is the best league in the world. But we'll move on to United obviously playing Granada again on Thursday. Now, I don't particularly think we played bad against Granada. I think Granada tactically got us spot on, to be honest. They set back and played tight. We couldn't find the space. We couldn't break them down. But look, we still won at 2-0. I didn't really have anything to complain about that if we still won. So how are you feeling about the game on Thursday, Chelsea?
Yeah, like obviously we got 2 away goals, and that's obviously a little bit of a cushion for us that, you know, we need. We didn't play awfully last game. I don't think it was the prettiest win we've ever done, but we got the 2 goals, and that's all that really matters. I'm feeling pretty confident, I'd like to think. I don't want to say I'm too confident and then we end up absolutely messing it up. However, I think we can maybe. Well, I mean, obviously we've got 3 players that can't play anyway. They're on yellow cards, haven't we? So we have to do a little bit of a switch up with the squad anyway. But I think we just need to sort of just make sure that we sort of go out there and seal the deal, basically, because I think we've definitely got a cushion with those 2 goals. But I'm feeling all right about it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hard one, to be honest with you, because people were complaining that we played quite bad against them in the first leg, and our home form is not great either. Mm-hmm. So I'm just hoping that they can go up and they can just go out and put on a good performance. Hopefully that win against Spurs will actually give them that bit of a confidence to actually go out there and just keep the head up. And I know we're missing 3 players. I would personally rest Bruno.
Yes,
I just think like he looks really, really tired yesterday. And he was getting frustrated a lot as well. And like he's played a lot of football. Like he was playing for Portugal as well in international break. So I feel like rest Bruno, rest Rashford. Definitely, to be honest with you, just because Pogba is back from injury, and he's actually finding form, I would play Pogba.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chels? What players would you rest? What players do you play? I know we're already missing 3 players, but players definitely need a rest.
Well, we're missing, is it McTominay, Maguire and Shaw? Is that who we're missing? I think it is, isn't it? So I would play, well, off the top of my head, if I was to pick who I probably would pick to play, I put De Gea in because obviously Henderson played the other day and he's been playing the cup games. Obviously, I'd play Tellez because we haven't really got an option when it comes to that. Obviously, the centre back will probably be, I'm guessing, Lindelof and Tuanzebe. Again, because obviously no Maguire. Wan-Bissaka, I've gone probably Fred and Pogba because McTominay's out. I've gone for Van der Beek instead of Bruno because again he needs a bit of a rest and it could be a good game for Van der Beek to actually get some game time. And then probably maybe James, Greenwood and Cavani because again I agree that Rashford needs a rest at the minute and I don't think he should be being played unnecessarily. Whether he will, I don't know. But that's probably who I think would probably benefit from a game maybe.
I was going to come to this comment here. Mike Hunt. Who's that? Eyes open anyway. I've been hearing anyway, if Wan-Bissaka wants competition, I heard Max Aarons is playing really, really well at the moment. So if you want to bring in competition for Wan-Bissaka, which I think he needs, to be honest, now he is slowly but surely building his game going forward, but by all means it's still not perfect, to be honest with you. So I think definitely competition would be good for him, and I've just been hearing really good things about Max Aarons at the minute. What we'll talk about, right, so obviously there's a lot of controversy in terms of VAR.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think VAR is the issue, it's the actual officials. And I just feel like English refereeing is awful, getting the bin. I think if you were to have VAR, you're going to have European referees. Now, but obviously we've seen the German refereeing is actually quite good. So I would, to be honest, if you can't get the right officials, right refereeing, get rid of VAR because it's definitely not working. You can't give McTominay's one a foul, but not give the one for Victor Lindelof against Brighton not a foul. So I think it's either one or the other. What do you make of VAR at the moment, Chels?
So like you said, it's not the VAR, it is the officials, but it's just so inconsistently used. Like you said, that foul on that foul that wasn't a foul on Lindelof where he was covering his face, and that wasn't a foul, but yesterday that was. And like the fact that yesterday the same thing happened to Rashford 10 minutes earlier, but nothing was up sticks, it didn't lead to a goal. It's just the way it's being used recently. Like they don't seem to know what they're looking for. And I just think, like you said before, I think the ref yesterday shit himself because he had no idea what to do, so he just kind of gave it the foul just because that's just the easy thing to do. But it was like the same in the Burnley game yesterday as well, with the whole penalty incident where he's got kicked in the face again. I mean, I think that probably should have been a penalty. A lot of people do, but again, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like they don't know how to use it, and I feel like just because they've got it, they'll kind of look into it a bit more, and the more they look into it, and the more they look into it, it's kind of changing the decision. But I'm not happy with the way it's being used at the minute because, and especially when people are saying that United have a lot of decisions go in their favour with VAR. Well, I'm not being funny. Recently, they've mainly been going against us. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a mess at the minute.
I think it's awful. What?
I said, you know what it's like for the rest of us.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, no, I think VAR should get in the bin, to be honest, because they can't even use it. What are you making of it at the minute, Jen?
Well, what I was thinking when I'm thinking about it, I was like, well, offside, if they use the same, like, for everybody, then it should be the same, right? So the same criteria for everybody. Offside should be the same. You know, you got your red and your blue lines. That was until this evening when West Brom had a goal disallowed for offside, right? But it was only disallowed for offside because VAR couldn't draw the lines. And that's what the assistant referee said. It was offside. And he only put his flag up, and when they couldn't draw the lines, they had to go with the on-field decision, which was offside. So Sky then, being Sky, got out the lines and you could see it was clearly onside. So that has completely ruined my argument about the offside and the onside and the lines, because that was absolutely ridiculous. And then I was thinking, well, things like what happened with Son yesterday, absolutely ludicrous. Because that is subjective, that's up to the referee, or it's up to the person who's doing the VAR up wherever they do it. Because it's subjective, you're never going to get exactly the same. So then it can't be equal. So then it's not going to be fair. You know, people see things completely differently. And I don't agree with it. It's the same with the penalties, how some penalties can be given, and some penalties are not. And you look at it different weeks and it's exactly the same kind of foul on the person in the penalty area. And we've had a few go against us. We've had one or two maybe go for us recently. So, but it's just, I don't know, it's not working. And like you said, they have to look at it. But if they look at it and look at it, they're going to overlook at it, overanalyze, and then nobody will know where we are. So I don't know what the answer is.
I think even with the offside situation, I feel like if you can't see that the player is clearly offside with the naked eye, it shouldn't go to VAR. The goal should stand. Because if they do that with all their fucking stupid lines and whatnot, and they're literally their fingertip is offline, is given offside, I think it's absolutely cat, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
just especially with that, especially with the offside situation, if you can't see that the player is clearly offside from the naked eye, it shouldn't go to VAR. Because I just think it's so stupid.
With offside, it was always give the striker the benefit of the doubt. You know, they were told, us growing up, oh yeah, you get the benefit of the doubt if you're the striker. Now it's not that way. You're penalised if you're a millimetre offside, which is ridiculous. And then I know Wenger is in the technical people and in with them and talking about how they can improve it. And he's saying if any part of the body of the striker is onside, then it should be given a goal. But then you're going to have the same issue, just the opposite way round. That they'll get their lines out and they'll go, oh yeah, he's definitely onside because his toe was onside with his, elbow or his sleeve or whatever. I just, like you said, I just think if the majority of his body, the striker's body, is onside, then he should be onside. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the penalty situation as well, I feel like if one is given, then the other one shouldn't be ruled out. So I think the referees just don't have an absolute clue what they're doing, being completely honest with you. What do you think, Chaz? Do you think it should only go to VAR in certain instances? Do you think they should rule out the whole offside part of it, or what do you think of it?
The whole point of sort of, offside and that and everything is that it's meant to be a clear and obvious error that VAR is supposed to sort out. But if someone's offside by a toenail or an armpit hair, that's not offside, and that's just ruining the game. Because if you think about how many goals that would have been offside by a millimetre in years past that wouldn't have counted, then it would be completely different. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if it's not clear and obvious and it is just a millimetre off, whether it is or it isn't, then I just think that it's just not being used right, in my opinion. Don't know, it has been used in the past for certain things and whatever, but things like that, it's just using it to a very fine margin. I just don't really agree with, because it is sort of ruining things. And like I said, if a linesman doesn't sort of pick it up and it is only offside by the tiniest margin, it's just, I don't know, what's the point of a linesman sort of thing. It's just a bit weird. I don't know, not a fan.
I'm going to come to this question from Cian because this is actually a really good question. Who do you think should go for Player of the Year, Shaw or Bruno?
Oh, that's hard.
Mm.
Because, like, I don't know where we do that, Bruno, don't get me wrong, but Shaw has been, like, incredible, and he's good every single game, pretty much. Like, oh, that's a really hard
There's
one.
no inconsistency. He's
That's what I mean, he's
consistently
always...
consistent.
I would potentially edge towards Shaw, actually, you know, a little bit. I don't know. It's hard, that, actually.
Everyone knows I'm a Bruno Fernandes fanatic.
Yeah.
But I think I'd go for Luke Shaw with this one.
I think I would.
I think he's been absolutely fantastic. His game has improved so much. Every single game, like, there's no inconsistencies with him at all. Like, every game we're rating him 8, 9, 10, and never any lower. So he's playing absolutely brilliant. What do you think, Jen? I know, like,
I'm not a Shaw fan, right? I can see what he's doing, but I am not a fan of Shaw. But I am of Bruno. I absolutely love Bruno. So I'd be biased. Yeah, I love him. I just think he's a great player, and I'd love to have him at Arsenal. Do you know? And that's how I know I really like a player, because there's very few that go, oh, I'd love him at Arsenal. Do you know? But actually, I would love Bruno. Sure, best left
coming
back.
to Paul's comment here, Shaw best left back in the league at the moment. In the league, I think the fucking world, to be honest with you, because he is class. Sure, I knew he was going to bring up something like this. Okay, to be fair,
true though,
he's playing really good football at the moment, and he really suits West Ham. But I would not bring him back to Manchester United. What do you think, Chelsea? Would you bring him back?
No, there's no point. As much as I'm happy for him and that he's doing really well at West Ham, at the end of the day, at West Ham, he's getting the game time, he's getting the time to play and show how good he can be. But I just think, like, if we brought him back, he'd be a bench player. Like, he wouldn't be played instead of Bruno. And obviously we've got Van der Beek as well, which also knocked him down the pecking order if Lingard was preferred. And there just doesn't really make any sense in bringing him back. So I would just say, look, give him to West Ham. Obviously, I just think he'd be a lot better staying there, because I think with the form he's in currently, if he came back to us, he'd be wasted again. So
yeah, I just feel like if he was to come back to Manchester United, obviously there's not going to be any room for him with Bruno and Rashford. So he's just going to be a bench player. And at the end of the day, he's 28 years of age, and he's going to want to play regular football from now until he retires. So I think, you know what, buy Lingard and we'll take Declan Rice. Like, swap deal will be grand. Jen, would you take Jesse Lingard at Arsenal?
Now, this is controversial, but yes, I would. Now, I think he would suit our way of playing, the way Arteta wants to play. I think Jesse would suit it. Now, I know there's plenty of Arsenal supporters that wouldn't take him, don't want to go near him, but I do. He has contributed to more than a goal a game since he's joined West Ham. That's what we're missing. We're missing somebody who's creating like that and he's doing it in West Ham, at West Ham, who are not brilliant, but he's made them really good. And I know are they in fourth? But they're not brilliant. And David Moyes, I reckon next season when we got fans back, they'll be fighting relegation. I really do, because if you look at David Moyes and what he did with Everton, we won't go into what he did with United, but if you look at what he did
we're
with
trying
Everton,
to forget about that. Forgetting about that.
But if you look at what he did with Everton, he had them up near the top 6, and then the next season he'd be down in the middle of the table fighting relegation. The next season they'd be up again. The next season they'd be down again. So I can see that in West Ham's future if they keep him. And I don't think Jesse Lingard, if they're fighting relegation, will want to be there, will want to be at West Ham. So he's playing out of his skin to get a move, right? So whether it's to West Ham or whether it's to somebody else like Arsenal, we'll see. We'll see over the summer. And also, he's got Premier League experience, and I know you pay for that, but I think sometimes you're better off looking at homegrown players that have been in the Premier League for a number of seasons, rather than looking abroad and bringing somebody over and then maybe waiting for a year for them to show what they can do. Do you know, at least if you're getting somebody like Jesse Lingard, even, oh God, Jack Grealish, do you know what I mean? Even them, they're able to slot in and do what you want to do. Boys don't count. You don't count for Everton either. So
I was just going to say this as well. Anyone that wants Jesse Lingard, we're getting at least 30 million off he, because he's playing great football at the minute. And I think United would be stupid not to put that fee on him, to be honest. And I know they are a bit thick anyway, but they would definitely be stupid if they weren't to put that fee on him, especially with the way he's playing at the minute. Like, he's absolutely bombing it at West Ham, which is great. Like, yeah, throw a bit of English tax on him there as well. So that's the players. We'll come to our predictions for Thursday. Come to you first, Jen. What do you think the score will be?
I'm hoping rather than expecting, but I think we'll score 2 goals. So if we score 2 goals, they have to score 3, I think, if I'm right. So I reckon, I'm hoping it'll be 2-0. I'm thinking it'll definitely be 2-1, and pray that they don't score in the last couple of minutes, but it won't matter then because we'll be through.
I hope you do beat them, to be honest.
We should have beaten them at home. We really should have beaten them at home. You know, it's our striker. Sorry.
We'll go to United. We're playing at home and our form isn't that great at home, to be honest. But I'm hoping with that game against Spurs, they've did hopefully anyway bring back the confidence in them. What do you think the score will be, Chels?
I don't know, because obviously we're playing at home. We've not got Maguire, which obviously we've got a bit of a different centre back pair, which is going to be interesting. I think that it'll be 2-0 to United. I think we'll probably still keep a clean sheet. Because Granada aren't that sort of threatening on the attack really as well. They were just kind of sitting back like they were last game. So yeah, I think 2-0.
That's a good shout, to be fair. I think Granada are going to grill us, to be honest with you. I think they're going to really play what they did the last day, but they were really, really hard to break down. So we were lucky to get the goals, and we did. We were waiting on these moments of madness like we normally do. So, look, I'm going to say 1-0, and I'm going to say Mason Greenwood is going to score an absolute screamer again. Man is on form at the moment. I'm loving it.
Same.
Cian thinks Ahmad is going to score.
If he gets time to play.
Yeah, that's it actually.
You never know.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see him play, you know.
Yeah.
So Cian thinks 1-0 United and Arsenal 2-1 in extra time. Rory says 3-0 United.
I like that one.
4-0 United.
Mushroom Kev, seriously.
Matt says 2-0 United. John says 3-0 United.
Wow.
And no Mushroom Kev. No Sexy Bruno penalty this time, because I really hope he doesn't play him. So I'm hoping he plays Van de Beek instead of Bruno. By all means, I'd love another Sexy Bruno penalty, but no. I hope he does rest the players, because some of the players do need a rest. Marcus Rashford, leave him at home, to be honest with you, because he should not even be on the squad for Thursday. And then, yeah, I'd play Pogba and I'd rest Bruno and Rashford. There we go. So Kenneth says 2-0. Rory says Mata score. If one Mata scores, lads, you're not
go on.
seeing me for a week. Um, so Cian wants Donny to score for Greg Chambers because Greg Chambers is a Donny van de Beek fanatic. I would love to see Mata play as well. I think the way Granada play, Mata would be great for that game. Just the intelligence he brings overall would be fantastic. So it would actually be nice. Actually, does anyone know what the story is with Dan James?
No.
He wasn't on the squad yesterday, was he?
Oh, was it?
I can't
Oh, no, he
remember.
wasn't, was he?
No, he wasn't.
I can't remember.
So I think maybe if Dan James is back, he will probably play. But I would love to see Wamata, to be honest. Cian doesn't like Wamata, so that's why he's saying I'm not. But Greg loves Donny as much as Jen loves Alba.
Go away.
So that's it. So girls, we leave it there. Hopefully we both get the result that we want on Thursday. We've also big games coming up at the weekend as well. So hopefully we will all be happy coming back on here next week. So we'll leave it there. So I'm going to go around there and you can just shout out where everyone can find you on your socials, Chels.
You can find me on Twitter at Chel UTD.
Jen, I say you love Twitter now, do you?
No. What am I? Gooner at Gooner _Jen.
It's down there.
I can't even remember it. Oh God, no.
You can find me over and it's you and it, and you can also find both me and Chelsea over on She Devils United as well. So thanks a million for everyone that watched, and thanks to everyone that was involved in the comments, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.